to share. So this is our subtle invitation to come on to future episodes and continue this conversation.
I'd be happy to if it works for you guys. We
Definitely.
can zero in on maybe one of the issues, finding your passion or whatever. And I'll tell you this real quickly. So in my thing of my whole realm of helping people to connect to their passions, one of the things that I dream of doing, if you guys ever coming to that money, um, is because here's another factor, and this is actually one of the 7 secrets. I'll give you this one for free. And the secret is never say you're too old. Never say you're too old to find your passion or too young. Right? Some people find their passion at age 6 because of something that's happened or some sort of serendipitous experience that they've had. Some people find their passion at age 40. And so, you can't say age 40, age 50, whatever. And so, but in terms of helping young people, which is my passion of passions, helping young, but everybody to find their passion, I would like to be in a situation where I could say because sometimes there are kids in school, right?
Yeah.
Our school, formal school, and they love horses. For argument's sake, this is actually partially true. And so, the geography, history, and the French ain't really cutting it for them. So they're bored in school. They can't wait for school to be over to go by the racetrack or whoever keeping horses, get a horse and go ride it on the beach. We know that's part of the VI culture, at least Crucian culture, right? And they may even start cutting school. Now, as far as the system is concerned, again, they're a problem child because they ain't coming to school. So much that there's a problem. They've found their passion. So I wish that I could be in a place where I had unlimited funds and I could say to kids like that, if they're kids and use motorcycles or whatever, I could say, okay, we're going to pull you out of school for a year and we're going to pay for you to apprentice, whatever you want to call it, with a horse stable or a motorcycle manufacturing company. So you're going to get a little bit of salary or whatever. We're not depending on the company to say yes or no because we're going to pay the company to take you on. And I give you the opportunity to immerse in this thing that you think is your passion. Now, maybe after 6 months, the kid goes, you know what, I thought, but yeah, maybe not so much. It's okay. Let's go back to school, keep exploring, keep seeking your passion. How awesome would that be?
Yeah, I like that. That reminds me of a conversation I had recently with my wife, where we were talking about when we have children, how are we going to foster them, their creativity. It's surprising because we were talking about this before this show, before you and I even met. How are we going to foster their creativity? How are we going to help them find their passion and stuff like that? And that's exactly what you just said is what we were going to do. Just put them in something, let them explore, let them see how they feel about it. Don't let them give up just because they're not good at it, but let them stop if they feel, this isn't really my style or this isn't really for me. But just give them opportunities to do that. I think oftentimes as well in the Black community, our but is that we don't have time to have our kids do these things, or we don't have the money for our kids to do these things. But we need to figure out how to kick our butts on this matter because I think, Black people, we're very creative, I feel. We move art, we move culture, we move music. We have so much creativity. So it's like we need to allow our children to express that, to explore that. So
absolutely,
I really like what you said.
I know. I'm smiling because you add to that list food because you're going to be going back in history now. Don't forget, we were given what is called the offal from the animals in the slave day and post-slave day to figure out what the hell to do with it for our meals. And we use everything except the oink, as they say, on the pig.
Yeah.
Right? So when the plantation owner give us the scraps, whether it's the pig belly or the head or whatever, we go, dinner is served. We're gonna come up with. So we are very resourceful individuals. You're right, and we just need the opportunity, and so.
So how would that affect the education of the child moving forward, taking them out of school for a year?
Listen,
I'm just, asking questions.
no, I'm laughing because I am a personal. I'm not laughing at the question.
Hmm.
I'm laughing at the fact that I am a personal answer to that question.
Okay.
I repeated 2 years in high school.
Mm.
Okay, we think it's a tragedy to pull a kid out for a year, to have them work in a horse stable or whatever it is. Oh my gosh, well, they can lose a year. Yeah, kind of. But I lost 2 years, and yet I have two master's degrees, and you know, so what? You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I lost a year because when I was in high school, I was an idiot. I didn't care. It was more about the social thing for me, um, but I'm saying it really isn't as tragic as it is. And for every child that we pull out and give them a year and they connect with their passion, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I laugh because I repeated twice.
And
So
something else interesting? Oftentimes we push for entrepreneurship. We
mhm,
need more Black businesses, all that kind of rhetoric that we hear.
mhm,
I would say, to go a step further, we need more um, allowing people to explore their passions. Because I think if more children are allowed to explore their passion, for example, I could give an example from the gaming community, because this is
mhm,
originally a gaming podcast.
mhm,
A lot of kids back in the day, there's this thing called esports, where people play video
mhm,
games to make a living. This never existed before. Before you
mhm,
played video games, somebody might watch you stream it, but you wasn't making any money. You're just doing it for fun. But these kids, they're in their parents' home, they're playing video games, their parents allow them to play video games. And now these kids making money off of playing video games. And they would have never gotten the opportunity if their parents had been like, you know what, stop playing, this is a waste of time. You need to go to school, you need to do XYZ. But you can't become the best at something if you don't immerse yourself in it.
True.
And now some of these people are the
absolutely.
best in the
Woo.
world at this game. And people will be surprised it's a
Mhm,
game. But it's no different from playing soccer. It's no different from playing football for a living. They're playing a game
mhm,
professionally.
mhm.
Hmm.
So I really like what you're saying, and I really like the idea. I mean, sorry, I kind of lost track. I have ADHD a little bit. Going back to what I was trying to say, instead of pushing entrepreneurship per se, maybe we need to push pursuing your passion, and then the
Yes,
entrepreneurship will come from that naturally,
or not, or
or not,
not.
and it's
It's
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So new rabbit hole. Let's go down it.
Wait,
Let's go
one
down it.
second, one
The,
second.
the,
I have a
okay.
personal anecdote again.
I
Um,
warned you.
in my
Okay,
life
go.
personally, growing up, I used to draw a lot
Uh-huh.
all the time. I used to draw really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Then there came a point in my life where I had to choose, do I want to keep drawing or do I want to focus on school? And of course, from my background, school won. But I'll still draw
Mm-hmm.
here and there, but no one actually believed that I could draw that well. But I could draw really well
Mm-hmm.
if I actually take my time and do it. So there comes a
Mm-hmm.
time in children's lives where their passion actually has to butt heads with the normal education that they need to get. And I think that's what Fionn is trying to say, and you're trying to say as well, is that maybe sometimes education can take a little back burner to allow more growth in this one area of life that they're interested in, like they're actually interested
Yes.
in doing. Because no one really wants to go to school
Yes.
every day, but you want to draw every
Right.
day, you want to play football every day. Like that's something that you should be able to push for and have them be happy and have their mental health be actually happier.
Yeah. Totally. And so yeah. So we in the same rabbit hole because and the issue I was going to raise is um the role of not just parents. So let's say parents, teachers, guidance counselors, other relatives in shaping or misshaping a child's destiny. Parents give birth to a child and they say, this boy gonna be a doctor, right? He gonna be a doctor. And we gonna put everything into this child being a doctor. And the poor child, I mean, you know, daddy and mommy say, do the sciences in high school and da da da. And they got me into medical school and I am hating it. I just wanna play the cello. When I'm playing the cello, I am at one with the universe. And I'm saying this, but I say I know. I read of a documented case like this, and the kid actually was engineering, not medicine, and the kid said halfway through, "Mom, Dad, I'm sorry, but I want to be a musician," and they cut the child off. They cut the child off financially. And oftentimes the point is that oftentimes parents, teachers, guidance counselors dictate for children where they need to be. You know, oh, Kurt is good with numbers. He needs to become an accountant. And the guidance counselor pushing you to colleges that, you know, are specialized in accounting and whatever, and they're paid to misguide you. And so all of these things are forces that come to bear on us at different points in time, in terms of shaping, like I said, or misshaping our connection with our passions.
I feel like it's a vicious cycle of, like a negative cycle where the parent didn't get to do what they wanted to do. So now they're living vicariously through their child. And also there's like the
Absolutely.
cultural outlook of, I want my child to appear to be successful so that I myself look successful.
Yes,
So that's, and
absolutely.
then you push them towards being a doctor, a lawyer, you know, everything that's, I guess, like a standard job, when the child just wants to
Yeah.
live their own life and live their own, you know, self.
How sad is that?
It's
And
a
don't forget
sick
the neighbors' two children, they got a doctor and a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And when I meet them over the wall and they tell me that Johnny and Susie, Johnny just finished law school and, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And all I got to tell them back is that Kurt playing the cello.
Yeah.
No, man, that can't work. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's a whole rethinking that we need to do, but and I think more so now than ever, because the world is changing so fast and the needs are different, and we need to do the best that we can to hold those doors open. We handing the next generation a crap world, and we're still holding their noses to the grindstone in terms of reading, writing, and arithmetic. They don't need those. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They need to be creative, and they need to be able. And listen, the world is changing so fast. Watch it. That when Johnny goes off to college, when Johnny went off to college, they said this fall to be an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
By the time Johnny graduates, they can be vocations and jobs and careers that don't even exist right now. That's how fast the world is changing with the technology and all of that. So how are we gonna force them down some tube and not allow them to be flexible in their exploration of what their true passion is, if they're going to be productive members in their society and in their workforce?
So I have a, sorry, go ahead.
Something I want to just, I don't know if I disagree or not, but you said they don't read and write in arithmetic. I want
But
to
no, yes.
Okay. I think they need
Yeah,
both.
yes, okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. You need those foundational things, right? But I was saying, that's why I said, y'all know what I mean, because I wasn't saying necessarily they don't need those foundational disciplines, but they don't need some of the other peripherals that, when I say peripherals again, that, that really do not help to take them towards their passion. Yes, we all need to be literate. We need to know how to be financially literate, how to manage numbers, etc. So yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I had to make sure to clarify because I do agree that there's a lot of people I know who are like, why did I learn geometry? I don't use that at all in my life. I mean, I know all kinds of advanced math myself, and oftentimes they say advanced math is to help you with logic. And it's true. I am very logical. When I program, I have to use a lot of logic. So it helped me a lot. But in terms of if I wasn't in my career, it would be useless things that I have at my disposal here. I don't use it at all. And just like you said, when you don't use something, it atrophies. I haven't spoken Spanish in forever. I don't remember anything about Spanish now.
Damn.
And I went through school learning Spanish. Why? I wasted all that time learning Spanish when I could have been pursuing a passion.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.